Stem cell research is a huge step in our world's cure to diseases. It's a building block with which we could possibly save many lives. But what are we, the people, willing to give up in the name of science? Are we willing to give up the morality of our nation? There are many different ways to look at stem cell research, and there are many different parts to the research itself. But when it comes down to it, stem cell research is the killing of an embryo. It's the killing of a human, one of our own, and how could something like that possibly be right? Stem cell research is a topic that has become more and more popular and talked about in our nation. Yet many people don't really know what stem cells or what the stem cell research really is. So what are stem cells? According to the Royal Society, stem cells are the master cells of the human body. They can divide to produce copies of themselves and many other types of cell. They are found in various parts of the human body at every stage of development from the embryo to adult. Stem cells taken from embryos that are just a few days old can turn into any of the 300 different types of cell that make up the adult body. This means that with these stem cells we could repair damaged tissue, and it could in the future lead to the cure for many of the diseases that affect our society. So now that we know what stem cells are, what is stem cell research? First of all, when talking about stem cell research, you must know that there are two basic kinds: embryonic and adult stem cells. Embryonic stem cells are obtained from either aborted fetuses or fertilized eggs that are left over from in vitro fertilization. They are useful for medical and research purposes because they can produce cells for almost every tissue in the body. According to Healthline, adult stem cells come from the different tissues in the body, such as the spinal cord, brain, bone marrow, umbilical cord blood, and some organs. Although they are called adult stem cells, they can be found in both children and adults. So what is the exact difference between adult and embryonic stem cell research? Although adult stem cells are very useful to scientists, they are constricting. Even though in the past few years scientists have found that some of the adult stem cells are pluripotent and can be used to create several different cells, they still aren't as convenient as embryonic stem cells. Embryonic stem cells can be used to create almost any of the cells in the human body, and therefore are a scientist's ideal choice. Yet with every good thing, there comes a price. And in this case, the price is a human life. Multiple human lives, actually. One for every embryo that is used for this research. Stem cell research has been debated and argued over ever since it was brought up because of this mere fact. Many scientists back up their argument for embryonic stem cell research with the reasoning that since the embryo was never going to be implanted into a uterus, it therefore isn't technically a human yet. And since it isn't a human yet, it's not morally wrong. Life Training Institute reports that some also argue the destructive embryo research is justified because at least one source for human embryos, fertility clinics, have large numbers of spare embryos that are going to die anyways. Rather than discarding them, we should just harvest their stem cells and treat diseases in others. Science's Compass states that this same argument, akin to "I didn't personally do it and somebody else was going to do it anyways, so it's alright for me to benefit from it," has been advanced to justify buying clothing made by sweatshop labor and to defend downloading child pornography from the internet. The argument doesn't work in those cases either. If it's wrong to create the product in the first place, then it's wrong to receive it and wrong to benefit from it. There's a possibility that with stem cell research we could cure some of the world's diseases, and I understand how that statement can be extremely seducing. There are people out there that have to watch their family and friends suffer from different diseases every day. And there are some people out there that have the probability of inheriting those diseases for themselves someday. But do those of us who are going to get sick or die later have the right to kill and exploit those who will die sooner? Even if an individual's death is imminent, we still do not have a license to use him for lethal experiments. For example, Life Training Institute reports we can't conduct experiments upon death row prisoners or harvest their organs without their consent, nor can we extract body parts from mortally wounded soldiers while they are dying on a battlefield. It all comes down to the morality of the action. Webster's dictionary describes moral as capable of distinguishing between right and wrong. And isn't that what this embryonic stem cell research controversy is all about? Right versus wrong, good versus evil, and moral versus immoral? According to the JYI magazine, the majority of people against embryonic stem cell research have reasonings of religious nature. But a person doesn't have to be religious to look for the morality or immorality in a subject. The morality of a subject isn't something that you can Google to find the answer for. It isn't even something that there is a definite answer for. It's something that you have to decide for yourself on. So my question to you is, if we consciously go along with this embryonic stem cell research, could that be considered a moral decision? 6,800,435,588. That's the U.S. Census Bureau's estimated number of people that we have in our world this month. When I say our world, I do mean our. It's not mine, and it's not yours, but it's ours. All of ours. Every single last human adds to that number and adds to our world from the moment of conception. It's easy to think that when one is taken away, there is still 6,800,435,587 left over. I'm asking you now to look past that number, to look past the fact that an embryo is just a bunch of cells in a petri dish. Look past that and recognize that an embryo is just another one of us, just another number, and just another future. Then you will see that it is of the utmost importance for that embryo, that one, to be added.